Hey Amanda, happy Tuesday. I just got back from a psych midterm, which I didn't really study for at all, but it actually went really well, I think, knock on wood. It's funny because psychology is kind of the only class that I've done consistently well in. I've taken a lot of psych classes while I've been at Northwestern just because I needed a social science concentration for my journalism degree. It makes no sense really. But I had to take a lot of them and I've always done really well. It just kind of, I don't know if why I find it so easy, but I do. So maybe I should have been a psych major because I fail everything else. Congratulations on your new iPod. That's very exciting. I'm not gonna give you shit for it. I was just wondering if mom and dad bought it for you because that always happens. That's all I asked is whether or not you had saved up the money because especially dad just randomly decides to buy expensive things for no reason. So that's all I was wondering. I know you've been working hard on scanning the pictures, though I don't really think scanning pictures is worth like $300, but congratulations. I'm just gonna like leave it at that. The struggle of my life right now, as I may or may not have ranted to you about over Facebook chat, is deciding on a novella to sign my soul over to for the rest of the year. My fiction class is split into two halves. The first half of the year is short story, and the second half of the year is novella. And as of next Wednesday, when I decide on a novella, I am stuck with it for the next 4 months and have to finish it. Can't change ideas, can't do any of that. So I'm a little afraid. So I thought that I would read to you the novella ideas that I have been expanding, and I don't know, just maybe share your thoughts with me. I want to pause and say I really appreciate that you let me rant about everything so much, especially in regards to saving Ronnie Hannigan. Um, like I said, I don't normally feel comfortable talking to people about my writing process, but since you already know what my book is about, you're pretty much the only one who I could talk to about it. Besides, I guess Julie on a really vague level. I told her about Oberon, King of the Fairies, and she was supportive of that idea. I'm just gonna read to you the novella ideas that I turned in and that I'm currently working with. So, idea number one. Sean is not a player, he swears. He's just a hopeless romantic with a thick little black book and a habit of falling in love every other week. But he can't be a player. Players are the dumpers, not the dumpies, and no matter what he does or who he falls in love with, his ass is always getting dumped. Coming out of his most recent breakup, life is sucking particularly hard. He got kicked out of his apartment, is stuck in a soul-sucking community college, living on the couch of the employee lounge at Teen Talk, the phone help hotline he volunteers at, and is lying to his aunt and uncle about everything, pretty much, and how it's blowing up in his face. On a whim, he visits the psychic Madame Zeller, or rather, a young theater major at NYU, just trying to pay her rent, and his life soon spirals out of control as he takes her every piece of advice. I like working with fake psychics. Zeller is actually Althea Zeller, who is lifted straight from saving Ronnie Hannigan. I'm really bad at like trying to get out of this canon. I told you I'm gonna do Ronnie and Sam as gay cowboys, and that's just like gonna be it. And then idea number two is the Peter Pan revamp, which you've already read, so I'm not gonna, or you've already read the premise of that, so I'm not gonna send that over to you. Idea number three. When Wes Verdi died, Miles didn't expect to be overcome with rage. Not that he had died, but that the entire student body began to celebrate him as a wonderful, caring golden hero who would be sorely missed. And he wasn't. Wes Verdi was an asshole, a bully, and a homophobe, and him dying didn't make him magically not an asshole, a bully, and a homophobe. And apparently, Wes agrees. How does Miles find out? When the ghost of the jock extraordinaire comes back with a specific plan to extract revenge on the idiots who caused his death and resurrect his kick-ass reputation. Too bad no one can see him but Miles. They have a month before graduation to salvage Wes's small town legacy, and Miles has no choice but to help him so the dick won't haunt him forever. He employs the help of Dex, the son of of the town's YouTube famous drunken psychic and the flamboyant president of the GSA, and tries to navigate community service under the watchful eye of Wes's ex-girlfriend, while simultaneously trying not to want to sleep with her. Gay ghosts. And then my last idea. Recently graduated from high school and on the tail end of the loss of their best friend Amelia, Naomi and Skylar go on a road trip to get out of the small town of Washington State, which, by the way, you have to say around here. You have to say Washington State, because if you're not from the West Coast, apparently if you say Washington, people say DC, like think DC. Anyway, things between the two of them haven't been the same since Skylar and Amelia started dating, and their equilateral triangle became an isosceles, told from the perspective of Naomi. a competitive maternal athlete who has tried and failed at not being completely bitter about the relationship. The story deals with how they've grown apart, their separate grief and guilt over Amelia, and Naomi's unresolved anger about the happenings prior to Amelia's death. It would take place over the course of the summer before their freshman year at college, en route from Tacoma, Washington, to an undetermined location, with equal emphasis placed on past of the three girls' friendships. So that one sounds kind of boring, but it like fits most nicely into the novella form because like novellas are short. I'm used to writing novels, but no, I'm used to thinking in novels because I like having space to like play around in. So yeah, mm, yeah. I'm sorry you had to listen to that. That was really boring, but that's just what you get to do now. Peace out. See you tomorrow.